Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so we got the LA Lakers playing the Portland Trail Blazers in the third installment of the tournament series for our Lakers. And yeah, it's been 2 games since we seen the Portland Trail Blazers last. I believe we saw them, what was it, Sunday or something like that? And they have played 2 as well. One against the Jazz and another against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Their center off the bench, Booyah, I don't know how to say his name, man. I wish it would be a little clear to my mind, but he was 3 out of 4 from behind the arc or something like that. So that's the guy to pay attention to off of the bench. We learned that they had a lot of players on their team that we weren't familiar with, a bunch of young players. Skylar Mays, of course, is somebody who's really making a name for himself while the guards are out. And everybody who was missing from that game for the Portland Trail Blazers will be missing on this matchup here. That is Brogdon, Simons, who else? We are missing Henderson. All of those guys are going to be missing tonight. Of course, Robert Williams is out for the season. So, you know, they're going to be down the same amount of people. Only got one guard, really. They can run in rotation at the point guard position, and he did a very good job against us, man. He's been playing great against everybody, really. Getting big assists and scoring the ball as he's needed to. So Skylar Mays is definitely somebody to pay attention to. Jabari Walker, we didn't know his first name last time, but we know at this time Samaki's son also played very well, shot the ball well from behind the arc in one of those 2 meetings that we've since not seen them in. One, I don't remember which one it was, either Cleveland or Utah. He shot the ball well. So we need to be careful about their front court off of the bench shooting the 3. They can stretch the floor with these new guys. Let's see. As far as our Los Angeles Lakers are concerned, we're coming off of a pretty bad loss against the Sacramento Kings at home, where we playing a second of a back-to-back. It just couldn't really ever get close enough in that game. They just used a lot of energy defensively to force us into 23 turnovers to turn into 30 points. And we just could never get closer than 6 points, and we were keeping that spread mostly above 15 points the whole game. So it was it was frustrating for Laker fans. I personally thought that game was pretty entertaining for the most part. I thought we were fighting, but we just couldn't get more than 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 blocks out of AD, and a lot of people were upset at AD for not playing better, but I understand that his groin may have been hurt. So I didn't really hit him as hard as maybe a lot of other Laker analysts did, but nevertheless, we need him to either sit out tonight if he ain't going to give us better than that, or to suit up and play well, because that's the only thing that's acceptable for Anthony Davis, as far as I could say. So with that being said, he is a game-time decision. So is LeBron James. And even though this is a tournament game, I think it's a decent chance they do miss this game, simply because, A, we're facing a tanking team, so they're not likely to want to win. B, they are undermanned quite a bit, so we should be able to run a good game against them without our stars. And, you know, that's pretty much the story there. But I wouldn't play around with the tournament, man. If one of them could go, they probably should. But I doubt we'll see both of them tonight for some reason. Well, for a specific reason, it's injury. So Bron and AD, game-time decisions. Of course, we're still missing Vanderbilt. We're still missing the young fella, Jalen Hood-Schifino. But they have both been cleared to practice and are running and doing what they need to do to get back on the court. So we expect to see them within the next few games. From what I understand, Gabe Vinton is going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks, but his progression is going as expected. So no setbacks there. What else, man? The Los Angeles Lakers, as I said, we lost the game against the Kings, but we did have a fantastic game against the Memphis Grizzlies before that, where we set our franchise record from behind the arc and hit it in only 36 attempts. So we really liked that. I believe that the record was 22 threes made. But don't quote me on that. All in all, I think we've played a pretty solid week of basketball, given the fact that we beat some depleted teams and ran into a really good Sacramento Kings team. I thought put up a pretty solid fight with a hobbled Anthony Davis. And, you know, that's really my take on the situation. I'm not as harsh on it as many were. I see the improvement. I like the role-playing improvement of guys like D'Angelo Russell, who've stepped up. Rui Hachimura, even though he's had limited minutes where he's played pretty well for the most part during this stretch. Cam Reddish has really made a name for himself, playing pretty much stellar all week long. For the last 4 games, he's been really good for us, both sides of the floor. And I'm encouraged by that. Austin Reeves has had some hot and cold games. Sacramento wasn't a great game for him, but he did play very good against Portland and Memphis. So, you guys are kind of shaking off the rust, trying to get used to the rotations as players come back from injury. And that's kind of a challenge in and of itself. So tonight, of course, we've mentioned the Portland Trail Blazers just a week ago. At the end of the day, you got to pay attention to that front court. Jeremy Grant and DeAndre Ayton need to be taken very seriously. They both bring a lot of intensity to the basketball court, and if you allow them to, they will rebound the ball over your head quite a bit, which is why I hope Anthony Davis is able to go, because it can leave us at a disadvantage to a degree if we let those guys go nuts. Now, against the Utah Jazz, the Portland Trail Blazers players, Shaedon Sharpe had a really cold game. But he was able to get 7 rebounds and 8 assists, or vice versa. And because of that, I am aware of what his ability to do is, which is help his team if the ball isn't falling. So that young player is coming along really quickly. 7th player picked in the draft last year, I believe it was, and his development is going very well for them. So Shaedon Sharpe, don't expect for him to be cold tonight. At all. And of course, they've had a game since then against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't remember exactly how he did in that game, but I know they didn't win it, and they only scored like 95 points as a team. So that's really how that goes. They are depleted. They are tanking. They don't probably really want to win too many games, but this is the tournament, and they would probably love to get a win and play spoiler against us. So if we think we could turn it down against them or play to the level of the opponent, I'm pretty damn sure we're going to be fighting for our lives. So we had better be ready to play, no matter who's suiting up for both us and them. Where I want to see the Lakers really improve is our rotation situation. We talked a lot about Taurean Prince and how I'm not a big fan of his really at all. I never was really. He's a solid player. He can shoot the ball when he can shoot it. But he's not somebody you can count on to do anything extraordinary, and because of it, he kind of just accentuates the weaknesses of other players, in my humble opinion. So I'd like us to kind of go with Rui Hachimura a bit more, maybe even run someone else at the small forward position, like Austin Reeves, possibly moving him to the 3 for a short amount of times, moving Bron around to the 3 and putting in Christian Wood and Anthony Davis together with Bron on the floor. I think that could be a good solution for that small forward process. You can also, of course, run Max Christie and Max Lewis if you want to go that route at the small forward for now until Vando gets back, and we could kind of slot our rotation into making a little more sense for everybody. But I'm not the big fan of playing Taurean Prince 25 and 30 minutes. I just think he leaves you at a bit of a disadvantage unless he's really, really playing well, as to which he's capable of doing, but not often. Not the type of well that you need him to play in order to make it so that others aren't at a disadvantage with him on the floor, in my opinion. Guys like D'Lo Russell and Austin Reeves, they have their weaknesses on the defensive end and with their strength not being where you want it to be. So it's kind of like they're getting attacked a little more when he's on the floor. And when he sits down, things go well. That's what I noticed against the Sacramento Kings, a team with a lot of good small forwards. Yeah, that just didn't work out for us, man. So I want to see us kind of go in a different direction there. Much has been said about trades and things of that nature. Zach LaVine's name has been coming up. Austin Reeves' name has been coming up. And D'Angelo Russell, I don't think we should really make that trade, to be honest with you. I'm not saying I don't want Zach LaVine. I'm actually telling you I do. I just don't want to give up those players to get them, and I don't think you can get them unless you do. So I don't see the Lakers making a move like that unless we want to throw in a third team to try to help us with draft equity or something to give to the Chicago, or if we can just simply fleece Chicago somehow, which would make me very happy. I hear the Lakers are interested in 3 Chicago Bulls, as a matter of fact. DeMar DeRozan, DeMar DeRozan, our guy AC, Alex Caruso, and of course Zach LaVine. So in order to get all those guys, you're going to have to practically throw in Anthony Davis, and I just don't see the Lakers even considering anything like that. So, like I said, Chicago has been known to do some dumb things, though. So if you can fleece them, or if they value certain players on your team like Gabe Vincent a certain way, then maybe you can make a move like that. But as far as us getting all 3 of them dudes, if I'm Chicago, you better throw AD down there. Don't even come at me. If it's already been said that the Lakers are not interested in a Austin Reeves, Alex Caruso swap, and I agree with that. I'm not moving Austin like that. That's not happening. I like AC as much as anybody, but I'm going to stick with my young guy as he develops. So we should have did the same thing with AC, but this is where we want to stay at this point, if you ask me. I don't think the Lakers really need to make a move in that direction. We just need to improve our small forward position. And most importantly, we need to get our guy Vando back, which will then by default do that. So, yeah, should we make some trades? Maybe, but maybe not right now, and maybe not that trade. I do think we need to get some athleticism in our backcourt. One of those two players should be a leaper or a fast guy with some speed, because at the end of the day, the contenders have players like that on their team. So that's ultimately what you want to be able to match up with. So back to this matchup tonight, I'm just very excited that this tournament is going well. I love the intensity of these matchups. We're, of course, going to have to stare at that red floor that the Portland Trail Blazers have, although I think their red floor is a lot better than teams like Chicago and some of the other teams that have a red floor. It's like 3 or 4 of them. I think Portland's probably one of the better red floors with that template. So we'll be ready for that. Everybody prepare your eyes. It's going to be a red floor, but it is what it is, man. We got this tournament coming up. And we're 2-0 in it, and we feel great. You know, we feel great about how our intensity has been, how we've been able to accomplish things. And hopefully that will encourage our stars to play tonight, because this is going to be a game where we want to win it. I believe the next one is Utah. I think we'll be playing them in a tournament game the very next game we play, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I think that's how that goes. So, yeah, that should end off group play for our season, and then we hopefully, I think we've already sealed it, should be going into the knockout round, which should be intense. So yeah, that's what it is, man. I'm excited. I'm a Laker fan who didn't hate our effort against Sacramento. I just thought that we were playing against a team that was running better stuff, had more energy. They weren't playing off a back-to-back, and they didn't have their stars hurting. You know what I mean? Anthony Davis being half out there for us doesn't really make us as good as we need to be. Our front court isn't strong enough to be going up against guys like Domantas Sabonis, Keegan Murray, and those guys without a healthy Anthony Davis. So that's what it really comes down to. Can the Lakers get healthy, man? Can we get healthy? Of course, Miss Triple Dub met up with LeBron James in that last game. We were very happy about that, but then again, the turnovers between him and Austin Reeves set us back quite a bit. So guys need to take care of the ball a bit better. And to a point, you got to give Sacramento credit for taking the ball from us, because if you look at the box score, they were stealing the ball in most of those circumstances. So we just need to shore up our dribble a bit better and take care of the ball as the best we can. I'd like to see us use Rui Hachimura a bit more in this matchup as well. He only had 18 minutes or something like that in the last game, didn't attempt much. That's just not how you handle Rui when he's coming off a hot game against Memphis. So I thought the coach could have used him more. And Christian Wood as well. We got to use Christian Wood, but I think that we're a much better team when we have AD and Christian on the floor at the same time. Rarely do we find ourselves unhappy with that pairing in our front court. I wouldn't mind seeing a lot of that going forward. So I hope Darvin Ham feels the same way. He hasn't been using those guys together as much as I'd like to see it. And, yeah, man, just shuffle some things up a little bit for me, Darvin. Get Torian out of there and put more Rui and Wood in there, and I think we'll be in a much better position till Vando gets back. I just feel that way, man. I hate to be so down on one player, but he's just so average, man. That's what it really comes down to. When you lean on average players, you get average results, and it ends up being like a 4-on-5 out there. And so unless he's hitting shots, he's only going to get a marginal steal here and there. He's going to get some boards here and there. He's definitely going to drive at the rim, lay the ball up. That's great. I can get that from a developing Max Christie. I can get that from Rui Hachimura. All of that stuff I can get from Rui. So that's what it really comes down to for me. His expiring contract can be shipped out, man. That's how I feel about that. I've heard a lot of being said about a guy like Gordon Hayward. He's having like a renaissance year. He's fully healthy for the first time in a while. He's been able to work on his conditioning after having some very serious injuries over the last couple seasons. So we know he would be a great player to add. The problem is his contract, from what I understand, is still what it was. It's still a 1-year, like $35 million contract. So that's going to stay right in Charlotte if I have anything to say about it. But he would be a great player to pick up if his contract was to be bought out. Definitely want to add him if that were to be the case. But if that's not the case, then no, I'm cool. So that's what I want the Lakers to pay attention to, is just contracts, man. I know we like Zach LaVine, but Zach LaVine is making like, his contract is crazy, especially on the tail end of those years. I think he's supposed to be making like $50 or $60 million, if I'm not mistaken, some crazy stuff. I'm not certain. But whatever it is, we need to make sure that it's something we don't mind paying, and something that if we keep him, or rather want to move him after getting him, it wouldn't be too difficult to move. So I'm not certain of what to think of that, but I do know if we had him against Sacramento playing at his best, we probably wouldn't have gotten beat the way we did. So that's the plus about the whole thing. We just want to get a little better, more athletic in our back court, and the players that the Lakers are hoping to get from the Chicago Bulls will provide that. So yeah, that's the thought, man. As far as this game tonight, Portland, you just got to pay attention to guys that are going to try hard and do well against you if you're undermanned. Matisse Thybulle been shooting threes very well against the Lakers over the last several meetings. He's been hitting multiple threes. He seems to only want to shoot well against us. Everybody else, he's a regular guy who can't really go that route on that side of the ball. But defensively, we know he's a monster. Skylar Mays making plays for everybody, shading sharp. Hopefully he stays kind of cold. Jeremy Grant didn't really have that high of a scoring game in the last one, about 12 points, so I expect for him to want to elevate and try to get his offense going a bit more in this game. And like I said, those bench guys that they got, the Tamari Kamaras, I think he might actually start, but he's a role player. He's somebody to pay attention to at home. Guys tend to have more confidence, and with $500,000 on the line, guys are going to want to play hard in this tournament thing. So look for their try-hard guys to really try hard. Walker and the guy that I mentioned, that center that they have that I can never remember his name, he's coming off a really good game, so I would imagine he's going to be featured a bit more tonight behind DeAndre Ayton. So, Ayton could eat, man. If you don't have AD down there, Ayton could eat. And with Grant next to him playing defense, it can make for an interesting matchup. So we just got to take it to this team, man. We need Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura and all of these guys, Cam Reddish, play hard. This is Cam Reddish's return to Portland. This is the team he played for last year, so I expect for him to have a spirited matchup tonight back in that old building of his. And, we are a proud bunch here, man. We're a proud bunch here in Lakerland. We came off that Memphis win, an extreme high, and then we went into that the very next game with Sacramento the very next night and had an extreme low. And so hopefully we can get back to the high side of things against another depleted basketball team that I suspect we should be able to beat if everybody's playing, no doubt. Hopefully we can get a really good game out of LeBron James. I know he's probably looking to continue to push in the same direction he has been. If he's able to go, I'm pretty sure we're going to see him get high assists and high rebounds once again, because it's quite honestly needed. Clutch shots and things of that nature we need from Austin Reeves. We need his clutch ability to come back around, man. He's just kind of been on a low this year, but you see hints of him being able to break out of that slump. So hopefully that's what we get from AR. And that's where my head is, man. I'm not really putting too much pressure on AD, man. I would rather him not go if he can't go. If he's gonna just be trotting up and down, kind of low, kind of laboring rather, you can go ahead and sit it out, bro. Because if you're not gonna give us your very best version of yourself, then it's probably gonna be to the detriment of the speed of the floor. He could help us defensively. He did get those 4 blocks, but if 9 points, 9 boards is just not enough, man. It's not enough, and he knows that. So that's what we're going to need from him. And, of course, he's having an MVP-like season. He's only had 2 really not-so-good games. The rest, he's helping on both sides of the floor. So all this talk about trading AD, you better be certain what you bringing back is going to be able to do the things he can do, because if not, it's going to be a bad trade for you. Trading AD for 3 wings is stupid. It's stupid. I'm just being honest with you. You need somebody who can protect the rim the way he can, which no one can. Honestly, he's the best rim protector in basketball, not named Wembanyama. As I told you, Wembanyama was going to be one of the best shot blockers. He is right now. And he's also someone who can score the ball when he's right. We know AD can score 50, 60 points when he's right. So don't bring me back some one-sided player playing a different position and leave my rim not protected because y'all tired of AD. I'm not up for that. Make sure if you're gonna get rid of AD, you bring back the caliber star that he is, or about 9 to 10 picks to make up what it is he's worth. Other than that, I'm not interested in moving a player that caliber. He's like Joel Embiid or Jokic or one of those guys. He's in that category of player, man. DeMar DeRozan is well past his prime. AC is a guy we developed. We know him. And Zach LaVine is a guy who's not going to do anything on the defensive end and may not really make sense on the offensive end if he's shooting too much and not playing smart ball. So that's a terrible trade for Anthony Davis, the best defender in all of basketball, in my opinion. This is a bad trade, man. I understand they want those players. I'd love to add those players to a team that has Bron and AD on it. But if you're getting rid of AD, I don't even think Zach LaVine wants to sign up for that. So, yeah, no. That for all those people who are saying let's think about trading AD, you could think about trading AD. Just make sure the return makes any sense at all, man. Because a lot of people are trying to make a trade AD to Chicago for that package, and you're getting fleeced. You're getting fleeced in a major way if you do that. So I know the Lakers know that. GM knows that. But some of these fans, man, listen to y'all. It's like, yo, bro, y'all not taking into account AD's defensive genius. Just watch how people pump fake around AD and how he stays down on those pump fakes. Then study the rest of the league in regards to that. He's the best reader of pump fakes and those type of things I've ever seen. So I'm not moving AD because I know he can do superhuman stuff. He's just got to get his health right, and people need to temper their expectations for that because that's just who he is, as somebody who stays hurt all the time. So moving him for me means bringing back somebody of his caliber. And if you ain't bringing back Anthony Edwards, you ain't bringing back Jokic, Doncic, you ain't bringing back Giannis, you ain't bringing back Wembanyama, don't talk to me about trading AD, man. I don't want to hear it. If you're not bringing back Joel Embiid, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of caliber player he needs to be traded for. So that's all there is to that. I don't want to hear nothing else about that. So, yeah, that's pretty much my point of view. I think everybody is ready for another tournament game. Tournaments always bring a different type of energy, and we love that energy, man. I'm enjoying the tournament. Maybe not the floors, but the jerseys have been cool. We're going to be wearing our yellows tonight. Portland will be debuting. Maybe this is their second time wearing their city jerseys, but they look pretty good. They're black. And that's pretty much what I have for you, man. Not too much to say about their roster. We just saw them a couple of days ago. And if you guys want to hear me speak more about Portland, I encourage you guys to go check out my pregame video of that game, which is back there just maybe about 20 videos ago. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. Lakers versus Portland tonight. Game time, I believe, is at 7, although I don't know. Honestly don't know. But it's somewhere in there. And I encourage everybody to go check out that. Do your homework on the time to make sure. So, of course, I have something for you at halftime and, of course, at the end of the game. And hopefully it'll be another win for us in tournament play. So, that's what I got. BDF44. I thank you all for watching.